Show is about to begin.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Well, good evening, everybody. How are you, Mr. Dan?
I am doing pretty good tonight. No
Excellent.
real complaints except for what we were discussing earlier about the credit cards. That's always a complaint, though. There's never
Okay,
enough
well,
money.
we have a guest tonight from your area. How about we welcome Mr. Eric Carver tonight?
Evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
How are you?
Oh, we're just winding down after one of those days today.
It is always good to have a little wind down time, and no better way to do it than here on Base Wars, man.
Oh,
And
yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't get a tan. I just got it. I'm always red. I don't have enough lighting here.
Yeah, well, I'm not going for an ambiance here. I'm already in my sweats. I'm
Uh-oh, we have lost our first guest. We also have Pop Tart coming on with us a little later. He's going to tell us about a show he has coming up this weekend. So why don't you go through and figure out what shows we got for this weekend? Since we got some extra time.
We have a couple this weekend, actually. I was checking them out a little earlier on. We have the Ruckus and Chill Show coming up in Fayetteville, North Carolina this weekend. We've got a Toys for Tots in Ashland City, Tennessee.
Mhm.
And as per usual, we have the Base on the Beach in Biloxi. So we got three pretty big shows coming up this weekend, with probably the biggest one really being the Ruckus and Chill Show this weekend out there at Fayetteville in North Carolina. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that is who's doing that one? Is that Greg and Stacy are doing that one this weekend? So
I think that's Greg Kelly.
yep, that would be Greg and Stacy out there. So just a little south of Fayetteville. Head on out to that show. It should be massive. If you can't make it to that one, guys and gals, swing on over to a couple of the other ones we got. We got a Toys for Tots in Nashville this weekend that, bring a couple toys.
Definitely.
Well, not just a couple. Bring as many toys as you can. Bring them unwrapped as well. That way we can see what they all are and maybe get some good pictures of that to show that we're giving back to the community that way as well. But that's going to be in Ashland City, Tennessee this weekend. And that is going to be the other Melissa this weekend. Melissa Halfacre heading out there. And if you can't make that show, head a little bit further south down to Biloxi and get to the Base on the Beach show down there. Is that
Oh man, the weather down there is always perfect.
better than what I had here today, probably, which was 62 and about a 5, maybe a 10-mile-an-hour wind. It was a great day up here for the middle of November up here.
Oh
So
my
if you
God,
get
the
that,
location for the Base on the Beach show is
man, if
at
you
a
get that down
lighthouse,
there,
and
80 probably,
there's water on both sides of it.
even better.
Oh man, you talking about great photos and videos? You can get some great videos from there.
Eric
I
just
absolutely
mentioned to me he's
love going to his
loading
show down
issues.
there. Well, it looks like Mr. Eric's going to end up having issues tonight with his video.
That's fine. We got time. Says he's having some loading issues. But yeah, he's part of Team Def Bones up here, and Eric is gonna, well, hopefully, if he can get back on here, he's gonna talk to us about teams and what it takes to be on the team and what it takes to stay on the team as well. Because just because you're on a team doesn't mean they're going to keep you.
Exactly.
There's a
That's
lot of
something
things
I've learned really hard. All these people work
Mhm.
really hard to get on a team, and then they just slack off.
Yep. Can't slack off. You got to actually work harder when you're on the team because they don't
Mhm.
expect you to stay at 150 dB. They don't expect you to stay at 140. They expect you to grow. So, and they expect you to promote their product as well, online, offline. And speaking of online, having a good online as well. If you start bashing someone else, that's not a good thing in their eyes, even though they may be the competitor. But yeah, you don't want to be doing that at all. And also, don't expect to be on a team in the first, after your first show, just because you took first.
Everybody always asks, how do you pick a team? And that is the wrong way to look at it, because the right team will find you.
The team will definitely find you. If you're out there and you've been doing it for 3 or 4 years and you've been doing good, they might look at you. If you've been doing excellent,
the right team will always find you. If you have to go looking for it, you're probably not going to be there that long.
True.
All right, Mr. Eric, where is your show going to be on the 25th, sir? And as always, we appreciate everybody coming in and commenting with us. If anyone to come on the show, y'all can. We would be glad to have y'all. Mary?
Might have to talk about those shows as well coming up here on the weekend after Thanksgiving. As you just mentioned, Eric has one, and I am not seeing that. I've seen one for Brandon. It's like Brandon has one.
All right. Now that you're back
again, I had to switch over to my phone for whatever reason. We've been having like utility work up the street, so it's been messing with our internet here. So I had to switch over to my phone real quick to use it. One way or another, we'll get it done.
Excellent.
So what we got going on tonight, guys?
Well, I just kind of mentioned a couple things that you were on Team DB and never really mentioned how you got on the team. So I suppose let's open it up to kind of the questions of how did you initially get on the team? Because Eric, you and I have been friends for about 6 years or so, and I know for a fact that neither of us were looking for a team when we first met each other. And I suppose we could probably talk about that a little bit as well.
Well, it first started off with forming the local team up here in Iowa. We all kind of started off. You're about right. It's about 6 or 7 years now. It was the first Icky Nickel event that we had here in Sioux City, and we ended up forming a team up here with some of the guys in Northwest Iowa and South Dakota and parts of Nebraska and stuff. And really, we didn't expect to actually look for any sponsors, but a lot of us went that direction. I started off actually running their equipment, and it was Donnie Voorhees that actually got me started on the Def Bonds equipment to start with. So he handed me a couple of 15s, and you know how it goes down the rabbit hole from there. Oh, try this. So I love the equipment so much. I built the whole car around it. We did, I don't know if you remember, it was the secondhand slam where we had taken all the equipment, was completely rebuilt, reconed, refurbished. There was nothing new in that build. We rebuilt everything from scratch all the way back up and put it in that Focus. And Donnie said, well, here, try these 215s. So, okay, we got into it. We did the secondhand slam, and I think that was more of a success, that it was a rebuild build more than anything there. But the equipment really got me. The next thing I know, he's talking about, let's go ahead and join up with Team DB because, it's going that route for us.
Sure.
Next thing I know, I think here in January, it'll be the 4th year with Def Bonds and Alfred Audio. Myself, Donnie Voorhees, and 3 more people on my local team here at Poor Boy Audio. We actually put in our sponsor requests, and you know, a lot of the people on my local team, they work hard. They do. You know, they're going out there putting 60 hours in a week at a job, and still going out to the competitions, building, and still representing this company even before we were sponsored. So, you know, it just made sense. It really did. It fit for us.
And I guess a little bit more with that is that when Eric and I met each other, and this is kind of a pat on both of our backs a little bit, I saw that Eric was one of the shows I very much remember you bringing your folks to it and talking with you about it, and then spoke with your mom a little bit about some stuff and a couple other things, and did this and did that. And we were looking at it, and I was looking at the car because I was contemplating getting a Focus at the time as well, even though I was looking at a sedan rather than a hatchback. But kind of looked at it and said, Eric, maybe have you tried this? And he's like, yep, we tried that. This was louder. I'm like, okay, cool. And it was a little bit of trial and error, and we slowly kind of started seeing each other at shows, and
oh yeah,
never really more helped each other in a shop or anything, but just seeing that little bit of progress that each one of us was making every week or so, and that we eventually all got a little bit louder and shared our knowledge with different things, different products that we had tried. And it's grown into a very good friendship between myself and Eric, and obviously Donnie as well.
Very much so. Very much so.
A business partner here in town, Phil Nelson, who hopefully is looking on. I haven't seen him join yet or anything, but Phil and I had a little shop here in the Sioux Falls T area that we had our finals at, and Eric happened to have applied in a couple classes and got his first 160 at finals this year, which I know he was extremely proud of. And
that was amazing. I got to tell you,
it's always a good thing when you can hit those personal goals, and you know, not necessarily take years and years to get to them, but just to set one little goal for the year. And if you pass that goal a couple weeks in or a month or two in, that all of a sudden that goal, you realize it wasn't high enough, and you got to set another goal. And then you got to set another one and another one, and you keep going with it, and you keep building it.
Well, and you know, if you remember right, when we were coming up in another, we'll say unnamed organization there, when we were all kind of battling out, there was about 5 of us in the basic street category. And, you know, the average, the first year that we all started competing with each other, the average was like a 141 for the score. By the end of the second year of us all going at it, the average went up to almost 150. And that was just us challenging each other and going back and forth.
That is very true. In 1 year, there were 3 or 4 of us that were really serious about it. And all of a sudden there were 2 or 3 others. And I think there were closer to 7 or 8 people, but once you get that little bit of a goal in there and you start seeing, okay, what did Dan do this week? What did Melissa do this week? What did someone else do this week? What did Eric do? Man, he jumped 3 dB in a month and a half. What did he do all of a sudden? And finding out what we've done, sharing that information, always a good thing, even though I won't tell you everything because I still want to beat somebody. As long as you got that goal out there, it's always great to have. So, and if I get beat, well, that's better for the other person too, because now I have something to shoot for, and I've got to be able to beat. And I'm just going to go down to who I see on the list right now. I got Dave or Donnie or John, the last 4 people that commented here that I can see. If I got to try and beat one of them because they beat me, it's going to be hard to do sometimes because I'm not in the same category, but if I'm trying to beat him in something where it's an open category in base horse, like Twister or Cyclone or something, it's a hard thing to do sometimes. But as long as you have that goal and you got a teammate to help you, push you along the way, it's always better.
All right. Before we get too deep into this, we probably should break this down a little bit, that there are manufacturer teams, there are national teams, and there are local teams.
You got it.
That's something I was going to actually bring up there too, is the difference between those three things.
And just because you're on a manufacturer team, don't mean they're giving you stuff.
No.
Oh, no. You know what they get?
Manufacturer's team, you're spending just as much money as everybody else, if not more.
If not more. Right before finals, I was like, all right, I'll drop about $1,500 into a wall build real quick here for nationals. I want to go to finals and I want to throw that 60 and I want to be able to place. And that $1,500 somehow turned into about 28, and custom subs made and everything else. It gets out of hand. I ain't even going to keep going with that. We all know. If you've been here for 5 minutes, you know.
Oh, definitely.
Very true. And the same kind of goes true with local teams as well. You mentioned that Donnie was giving you some equipment, and who drops 1K in recones?
That would be David Jenkins.
That would be everybody. Course of recones.
Everybody.
Because even through local teams, if I've got something that I can help out with, I'm going to try and do that. And very true there, John. That meter is evil sometimes because you put in all this work and you get it to that level at the shop that you're ready to throw that meter on the window or in the kick or outside, whatever class you're doing it in, and it didn't change, or in worst case, it went down. You got to rethink exactly what you just did. And God, was my teammate lying to me? Was my buddy lying to me? It didn't work right. So you've got that as well on that local level, as well as maybe a national level if you got that information from someone else. And there becomes a lot of talking and headbutting with that, of course, but more often than not, the team is going to want you to do that. So if it does go wrong, if you're able to have that backup plan ready to go as well. Have that maybe prefab box and run your 212s or your single 15 or whatever, and be ready to do that at a moment's notice if you have to. It's always okay to do that and rebuild. Take stock in what you do. Take notes. Rebuild.
Take notes all day.
Come back.
All day, take notes. The one thing that you were talking about there, Melissa, you're kind of touching on that too, is when it comes down to the three different types of teams that we were going back to that, the way that I look at this is local teams, those are the guys who are going to be there for you night and day. Those aren't just your teammates. Those are your friends and family. That's how we view it up here. Maybe everybody's teams and regions are different and stuff. But when it comes down to it, your local guys are going to be your family. They're going to be there every single day for you. Your national teams and your sponsored teams, you still have great resources. You're still communicating with each other. But, a lot of times with that, you're all spread out all over the country. So you don't get FaceTime with those people even half as much as you do with your guys that are sitting there with you since you started. And that's a big factor there too. That's a huge factor. And when it comes down to like information sharing, we say we have teams up here in the Northlands, and I think Dan can agree. We say we have teams, but we don't really act like we're divisional teams. Everybody shares everything. I mean, if we're going into the lanes 5 minutes from now and you blow something, you can guarantee I'm going to be over there helping you. I'm not going to win by forfeit. No, we're going to get you up and running. And Phil, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little reminder there, Phil. Yeah, breaks my pinky trying to help him reload a 15-inch sub and then turns around and beats me in the lane. So, it's not the first time, won't be the last time. But your local guys are going to be your local guys, but even still done with your separate teams and your local teams, you're still going to have a lot of cohesiveness like what we have up here. Like I said, I don't know how it is in other regions, but team is just kind of a label of a group of guys up here, it kind of seems, because we don't care who we're helping. Just get in there and help.
That's
Yep.
right.
And that's one of the things that I view as probably secondary to just simply getting people into the lanes is, as a judge, is how can I help you get louder? Can I get you some very basic pointers that might help you out right away? Or at the end of the show, if you hang around, can I take 10 minutes and take a listen and take a look at everything a lot more in depth than what I did when I'm just kind of doing a really quick walk down through the lanes of cars pre-show. And if I can do that, that will always help out as well. And if you've got teammates that can also help out with that, if David lived up here, for example, hey, David, can you check out this car and that car for me and tell me what you think about it? And it gives me a little bit of a visual idea of what I'm going to be looking at later on. And if David gives them some info, or I give them some info, or, Bill or Sally or Johnny or whoever, all that information, it's generally going to be pretty good, because you're not going to give out bad information, hopefully, unless you're trying to sabotage someone, which does happen. But, the better information that's out there, I'm not gonna purposely sabotage you. I might tell you things that might lead you in that direction, but I may not tell you exactly what to do to get there. But
that's your first mistake if you take you seriously. First of all,
yes, that always happens. Is if you take me too seriously, that's mistake number one. I don't take too many things.
That's on you.
Exactly.
That's on you all day right there.
And most people that know me as well, especially at a show, I generally don't take my stuff at a show too seriously. That being said, the shows that I do take seriously are the finals events.
Yeah.
During the year, it's literally, I'm there to put up a number and help friends and have a good time. At finals, 10 or 15 minutes before I'm ready to go, don't bug me, don't call me, don't bother me, don't ask me any questions, get out of my way. I'm in my zone. It's tunnel vision, straight ahead the whole time. And don't bug me, don't touch me, don't ask my questions, don't joke with me. It is different. But again, it all depends on if I tell someone, hey, 5 minutes from now, remind me if I've got this extra thing. I'm telling a teammate this. That's their one job. Do the job and help me out. And I will do the same for you. And Eric will do the same. And then Melissa will do the same. And so on and so forth. And that's what I rely on with the good friends and or teammates at a show, because they're always there to help out.
Well, we're talking about teammates. My local team is 5 hours from my house. But I chose them as my local team because that's my family.
Yep.
Those are the people I want.
And that's what they're supposed to be.
Yep.
That's what they're supposed to be in the first place.
Exactly. Sometimes your local team ain't gonna be right next door.
Not around here anyway.
No, not around here in the Northlands. No, you're driving at least half hour to an hour just to go see your buddy for, however long you need to.
Yeah, I'll drive that far to drop off a distribution block if necessary. And they're going to pay for half my gas, or give me a couple of Mountain Dews or something for the drive. But it's probably not for free per se, but something's going to happen for it, and it's going to be more than, hey, you walk in and literally hand them something and go away. It's going to be you walk in and you start BSing, and then 3 hours later, oh yeah, that's right, here's the part. And then 2 hours after that, you finally get to actually installing it or something. So,
Well,
and,
I think that's just kind of how we do up here up north, though. I mean, that's just kind of a daily, I think.
yep, it definitely can be. And that's the same for a lot of areas that I've seen, especially Northland and Heartland areas that Jimmy and Sonia do with guys like Chris Mills just checking in there as well. I know he's the same kind of way. If someone needs
Oh yeah,
something and he's got it, Chris will drop it off for you. If Nick's got something in that area, it's the same thing. And yeah, if you got the worldwide like TVO or a couple of the other bigger teams that are nationwide and even worldwide, if someone needs something,
Yep.
chances are someone out there has got it. They can get it to you. That's very
Yep.
rare that they wouldn't.
You know, if you ask 3 guys and you get a no, that 4th guy is usually going to say, "Yeah, somebody out there is going to help you out." That's a big thing on our local team. If I find out that somebody needs some help and you didn't do something or you didn't come get one of us that can help, then I'll put your butt on probation. You'll be on probation.
Yep.
That's like a founding thing with our local team. If I find out you didn't help somebody that needed help, you're on probation, bud. That's how much we believe in that.
Teamwork always
Thankfully.
helps. Whether it's local, national, or from the sponsor, teamwork is a big thing.
Well, and I think that kind of ambassadorship and that kind of mentality and that kind of personality out there, I think that's one of the founding things that a lot of these companies look for as far as your professional sponsorship is what kind of person are you out there?
Very much so.
Yeah. You know, hey, cool, you got a big build, but you're a piece of crap human being, you know.
And, you know, that's something that goes major with these teams.
Yes.
I would rather have a quiet build with a person who has a really good attitude, because I can fix your build being quiet. I can't fix your bad attitude.
Exactly. That's a great point. You know, one of the things that I always do is when we're recruiting for our local team, I'm not looking to recruit a build. I'm looking to recruit a person. I don't care what build you got. We can fix your build, but I can't fix you as a person.
Exactly.
I can stuff you into your build maybe, but yeah.
You know,
Right,
I recruit
you know,
for Alabama, and just because you have a build doesn't mean you're getting on the team. You can have an excellent build, but if I don't think my team members will get along with you, then you're out.
I don't want your numbers in your build. And that's what it comes down to is I don't want your numbers and I don't want your build. I want a good person.
I do too.
Because that's the person that I want to stick with. That's the guy that's going to stick with me. You know, when we go out there, we not be side by side with each other the whole time, but you can guarantee we're together. That whole team is cohesive.
Yep. If you've got 5 or 6 people that generally have similar personalities and are benefiting each other, that's your good team. If you've got one bad apple in it, okay, maybe, but chances are that little bad apple is going to cause a little bit of stress or a little bit of drama. No, not necessarily the best person for your team, but they might work well on another team. Maybe they do something else that's really good, or they've got a certain skill that your team is looking for, and you can put up with a little bit of it. But generally, no. It's not necessarily going to be that you've got to build either. It might be that you are really, really good at fiberglass work, or you're really good at building a kerf box. You're really good with wiring, and you understand the electrical and all of the battery chemistries that are out there now from lithium and CMAX and AGM, and you understand what you can and can't do. That's also a great thing to have on your build team as well. And it's not necessarily always just that you've got a system, but that you've got the knowledge. And that also is kind of where I think a lot of teams kind of fail, unfortunately, with that as well. Everybody's got to have, as Shannon just put up there, you got to have your strengths and you got to be able to contribute. If you can't do that, if it's general knowledge, perfect. If
And,
it's
I've always looked at it like, I always hear people say, I left that team because of the drama. Okay. If that's the case, you were on the wrong damn team. That's all it is. You were on the wrong team. Because there
and the other
are teams out there that are drama free and will help take care of you.
Yep. There's another person out there that's not going to be that.
Okay. Well, we have Mr. Pop-Tart going to come in for just a second and talk about his show. So let's hold on the team talk for just a second. And hello, Mr. Pop-Tart.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's shaking it up, bud?
Hey, I just got done birthday. Sorry about the being so late.
Not a problem, sir.
Birthdays are part of that team talk as well, man. If you can't get invited to a teammate's birthday party, you might be on the wrong team as well.
Right.
Exactly.
I honestly, my schedule's so booked.
Right.
I knew we had a live talk tonight, but my mind went out the door.
Oh, good.
But now, doing good. Got some shows lined up.
Okay.
Try to get some light down in here. There we go. I'm actually in the car. I'm doing a mobile live.
Not a problem. We'll take you where we can get you, sir.
Right. But so what's going on? What's everybody talking about tonight?
Well, we were going to let you talk about where your shows are going to be coming up.
All right.
I know you've got some dates available still.
Oh yeah, I've been going crazy now. This weekend we got the Toys for Tots, Ashland City at the fairgrounds. And actually Ashland City Fairgrounds is my main headquarters where most of my shows are. It's a good little spot. I got access to bathrooms, electricity, and all the good stuff. We're doing that Saturday, 9 o'clock to hopefully 5 or 6, but I don't know. Our crowds have been getting bigger, and may have to start running double lanes. That's how, we started out about 20 people, and the last show we had about 55 people. So it's been growing in this area.
Excellent.
Nice.
And I'm actually trying a new spot at New Year's Eve. It's up the road. It's in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. It's at a carport company place. The guys let me have the back lot, and people want to use the carports to keep their cars under to test or whatever. It's going to be a New Year's Eve wars. We're going to be on the 31st. Hopefully I'll have a good turnout because I know some people don't celebrate New Year's Eve, or some people do. So hopefully it'll be a good, decent turnout.
Cool.
But other than that, I got a few scheduled already for the April and stuff. But I have a big show I'm trying to do. It's going to be like a mini Slamology, but it's not going to be as quite big the first year. But I have a racetrack in Western Kentucky. Now I got the track for 2 days, so we're going to be we're going to have DB drags on site. I got a couple car clubs that's actually going to be doing the car show portion of the show. I'm trying to bring in a couple more organizations, so we're going to see how this turns out. It's April the 27th and 28th. It's at the Western Kentucky Speedway.
Okay. For your toy drive this weekend, new unwrapped toys for gate entry?
Yeah, the thing about our Toys for Tots, it's been it goes if you bring a toy, $20 value.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be brand new, with tags and an open box, basically. No used toys, because that's the policy of Toys for Tots. Can't bring your kids used toys or Goodwill or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a brand new toy.
Don't be
Or
cheap,
you
people.
you can bring cash to run each format for $20. So it's
Okay.
$20 a format, basically. We're gonna have DB Drags on site, which DB Drags and Base Wars, we kind of made agreements on. We're going to do some shows together. Not all shows, but he's going to help. He helps me out. Chris Gregory, he helps me out with some of the shows. With the fees. To do the shows at some of these places.
Oh, we got a bunch of them up in the comments saying the 27th and 28th.
If y'all give me 1 second,
high voltage.
I'm trying to connect to my Bluetooth so I can be louder. But I'm really looking forward for Base Wars growing. I talk to Billy about 2 or 3 times a week about different ideas, different plans. I know the Ghost class is kind of not really big in certain areas, but I know I run a lot of the Ghosts in my area. Can y'all hear me?
Each area tends to
Yeah,
be
gotcha.
a little different in what they run the most of.
Can y'all?
Yeah, I say it a dozen times over. Run them all and let us sort it out.
Yep. And that also holds true with teammates as well. Run as much as you can to get much experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on that. I'll run like 7 or 8 classes every competition. I'm going to throw a number, and where it lands is where it lands.
All right, hold on 1 second. What is it, man? I'm trying to do it.
No problem.
Okay, well, it seems we've lost a Pop-Tart.
Uh-oh.
He's fixing to get his license, so he's got to drive sometimes at night. So I feel like
Now we can hear you.
There we go.
Are you still there, sir?
yes, I'm here. I'm actually gonna be able to hear y'all better. Hold on 1 second.
Good
Yeah, David, if you got the
evening,
new
sir.
L7s, it only takes you 10 minutes to replace it in the field.
And I have a show coming up called Laying in the Shade that was supposed to be in April. We are moving the date of that show to May. So everybody keep your eyes out. It's a 3-day show, but we do need to move it 1 month.
Piece of crap.
Is that
Hold
still
on
going to
1
be in the
second.
same area there, Melissa? Is that still going to be at, I'm going to get the name wrong. Is it Archusa Creek
No,
Water Park?
that one's in Quitman, Mississippi.
Okay. Yeah, Quitman. There we go. Now I'm seeing the whole thing.
Now, what's this I hear about? You might make a trip up here this summer, Melissa.
Hey, as long as it's summertime, I'll come visit y'all. But if it snows, I can't.
Hey, I told you it was
Oh,
63 today.
Man.
The
I was over by your
712.
area today. It was nice. It was 63 degrees when I got there.
Yeah, it was nice today as far as Midwest is concerned. But no, the 712 usually happens in July, so you're going to be more sweating than anything out there. I guarantee it.
We have a
But it's a good.
Tiffany Adams. Thank you for talking about the toy drive. Awesome. Well, we would love to help y'all in any way we possibly can.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway.
Wow.
Speaking of that, if anybody needs to book a charity show, we are available for those.
Yep.
I think we were talking about something like that, weren't we, Dan? Trying to
We
figure
were
something like
talking
that out here.
Coat drive, toy drive, boot drive. I'm still kind of working with the Special Olympics up here. Actually, I got to get in touch with my lady here tonight or tomorrow and ask her when they're actually going to do their polar bear plunge, because I will be more than happy to jump in the lake. It's middle of February and there's ice. Done it before. It's exhilarating, to say the least. It is a
Well,
good.
it's not that I wouldn't. It's not that I wouldn't jump in the water with you. Is nobody wants to see me in a thong. I assure you this much.
Oh, God, that was a scary thought for a second.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Nobody
is.
wants to
All
see
right,
that.
let's clear our minds and get back to the base conversation.
Back to the base.
Oh, whoa.
That would be a scary sight. Thank you, David. I threw up a little bit myself, I think there.
Yeah, we'll get Brad back out there with the hula skirt.
No coconut top either, please. Although that was funny as hell to see him doing that a couple of years ago.
Oh, Lord.
He went home. He went home so burnt from wearing that he had that all completely burnt into his skin for like 2 weeks.
Then it was very much deserving.
He'd take his shirt off and he still had a coconut bra on.
Oh, yeah. That too, Jeremy. I don't want to go blind because of that either, but just imagine your most average guy walking around with a hula skirt and the coconut top. That's all you got to think of. It was funny. But the weird thing about this too is at that show, it was probably the first really nice time weather-wise at that particular event that we had in the 4 or 5 years that it had been going on as well. So it was a little much needed levity and humor, along with just simply, it was a good weekend. It was nice. It was mid-70s all weekend. It was a good show.
It was.
So let's get back to the team talk.
All right. Well,
All right. When you're on a manufacturer's team, do they contact you or do you contact them?
You know, the way that Alfred Audio does it, and I'll kind of use that as a framework, is they'll open up every year for applications to come in. So actually, they're going to be doing that here pretty shortly. I'm not trying to pimp it out or anything, but they'll be doing that here shortly at the end of the year. So you put in an application just like you're applying for a job.
mm-hmm.
Okay, you email that off to, you got Robert and you got Vladimir there. Those guys usually handle most of the stuff with us for team and stuff. We shoot that out to them, and it's just like a job application. You're basically applying for a job. You're representing somebody out there who's, the sponsorships aren't a full ride anymore. Manufacturers lost too much from doing that, and people don't realize that. Guys jumping on a team just to get that free gear or that discounted gear and then jumping off. And yeah, they make their profits, but yeah, that still hurts them too, because they're losing that equipment and they're investing in you. You've got to give them something worth investing in.
Well, I know
For
I
us-
was contacted because I am on the Gale Force team. I was contacted by them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they like you. It's not that you're the loudest. It's not that you're the best.
Yeah.
It's your attitude. If you get along with certain people, it works.
Yeah, it very much does.
Well,
And that's
and how you
kind of
present yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Most
and
definitely.
some of that is really presentation. Some of these groups, they actually like our local groups. We go out and recruit. You don't ask us, we ask you, kind of deal. And
Right.
and that's kind of what the deal is with some of them through there. You know, I like the application process that they sorted it out. You know, like I said, it's like you're applying for a job through there. And then some of them, they just see that you're one of those people that they actually want you having out as a brand ambassador. You're a good person. You're out there making a positive impact. And I cannot stress that enough. Make a positive impact. Be part of the solution that everybody complains about out there. You know, oh, this guy over here is cheating, or this guy over here is on this team. Or put that stuff on the shelf. You know, everybody's got a different build. There's always going to be a louder guy out there. Be a decent human being.
Yep.
Exactly.
That goes a long way, whether it's a local team, a national team, or a sponsored team. Be a good human being. Be the guy who goes out there and represents positively.
Well,
Definitely.
that's one of the quickest ways to make it onto the national team, flexing on them. If I see you out there helping other people that are not on our team, you know, that's going to get my attention. I like
Yes.
seeing people help. I
I
don't
do.
want the one
Yeah.
person who's just going to come and sit in their car the whole time and talk about how loud they are. You know,
Talk is
be
cheap.
humble. Exactly.
Well, and I'm going to end up grabbing the air pump here and pumping Dan's head up here real quick here for a second. Honestly, when I first got back into competing, this was 2017, and I started meeting Dan and Phil Nelson up through there. A lot of our mentality for our team, as far as go out there and help, actually came from what Dan and Phil demonstrated to me when I first got back out there. You know, I was founded in audio clear back in the late 80s when they first started it, but I've been out of it, you know, family, the military, and everything else like that. I've been out of it for better than 20 years, so I kind of needed to get caught up. Those guys walked in, they helped me, they gave me advice. I mean, everything top to bottom. And that was one of the biggest things that made a huge impact on me when myself and my partner, Brad Barton, we decided to found Poor Boy Audio, was that mentality right there. It only took two guys. It only took two guys setting an example to write the books for a team. So there you go, Dan. There's your, I'll take the air pump off your head now there for you so you can let some of the air out.
Well, the real truth is it takes one bad apple to run a whole damn team.
Exactly.
So you have
And
that
to
too.
be careful
That too.
picking.
it is,
You know,
and
there's-
it is exactly that one bad apple. If you're looking at a basket full of them and one of them has a worm on it, you're not going to take anything out of that basket.
Exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of the idea of it is, as Shannon has said, and as a couple other people on here, lead by example, be humble about it, the golden rule, you know, just try and be positive about what you can do to help a person out. Doesn't matter if they're using XYZ gear and you're using something else. It's help them out, help them get louder, give them some critique it, but be positive about it. This looks like it'll do, you know, I could get this to so loud, and I could get this to so loud, or I could get this here, or I can get that, or why did you buy that POS, or wow, you really spent way too much money on this, and that kind of stuff doesn't always work. It's more so look at it, give them the advice on what you've got about it, and just simply help them out. Don't criticize their equipment or their skills, because, you know, at one time, none of us had any skills, and we had the really inexpensive, well, from our age, the Roadmaster and the Cracos and the Sparkomatic. We all had the booster
Radio
EQ
Shack
back
specials.
behind LEDs that went back and forth. So it's hands-on advice. It's knowing better products out there, but not necessarily maybe in their price range. But if you can afford an extra, you know, an extra $50, or say, hey, try this one. Let me lend you this for a week or two. And as long as you know the person and you know that they're a good person, they're going to return it to you in the same shape. I got no problem lending out a couple of subs or one of my amps or something else like that. And yeah, if I had a Frankenstein, and Donnie, if you needed it, I know where you live. I can find you. Might be a
Dr.
little
Frankenstein. Man, I haven't heard that one in forever.
yeah, we can lend out that equipment to not only just teammates but good friends who may be on another team. And that's kind of one of the other things up here is the teams that are up here, they all talk to each other as well. And we're checking out everybody's car at the shows. And for 10 minutes, Team A is going to be looking at Team C, and C is going to be looking at Team F, and Team F is looking at A. And it's really kind of nice. And when I see two teammates walking around looking at the other cars, I know they're taking notes, and I know they're looking to see, okay, is it the same class I'm in? Is she beating me today, or did I beat them? Did they take notes again? And are they beating me now, or are they not? But did they get closer to beating me? Which means I got to step up my game again. So again, it's that yeah, exactly. It's that 80-85% of the stuff that Shannon's saying, we don't mind helping out. It's all got to be there, and you all got to be part of that Basehead family. Doesn't matter if you're on another team, as long as you're part of the Basehead family. And that's definitely. I definitely know that that's what Jimmy would say about this as well. Aside from bringing fun back to the lanes, is that it is about getting Baseheads together and win, lose, draw, tie, worst case scenario, fire, any of those scenarios that come out, as long as we can make those scenarios work out, then it's good, as long as it's not the last one that I mentioned up there.
Yeah, well, here's one of my big things. If you're on the team with me, I expect you to respect the other teams just as much as you respect ours.
Yep.
Don't be trash talking no other team, because I will boot you for that.
Yep. And
don't do that.
I think for the most part up here, we don't have that issue at all up here, I don't think.
No, not really. No. And that's kind of one of the things that I know I won't mention which org, only because I can't remember it. But I know that there are some orgs out there that do have a conduct policy where basically you can't bad talk or put down another team. And while I am all for that, there should be zero tolerance for it on a lot of things. At the same time, I do expect a certain amount of freedom of speech to say that, hey, maybe it's not up to the quality of this or that or something else, but if it's working for them, it's working. And I know a lot of people would laugh, but when they hear that Voss a long time ago did 174 dB, you're going to wonder what the heck they did, because I'm not hitting it and I'm not using Voss, or I'm not using whatever other product is out there doing it. But yeah, you want to run something, that's what you're running, and make sure it looks good, make sure it sounds good, have some pride in it as well. But to the team aspect of it, if you can't, be nice about it, then keep your mouth shut. If you can't
just don't,
then you don't say anything. That's what your grandmother would tell you about things.
Exactly. Good evening, Mr. Jimmy Pittman.
Here be Mr. Pittman.
Good evening, Jimmy. That guy is a great ambassador to this whole thing too. Any day of the week, I will tell you that guy goes out and advocates for a proper Basehead community. You spend any amount of time around Jimmy Pittman and Sonia, you know that they're out there for the community.
Yep.
That is what they're there for. Everything they do, you can see that. I will praise those two all day long for what they do. All day.
Yeah, exactly what Shannon just put on there as well. You don't look for the numbers necessarily. You're looking for good people. And that always holds true. If you can find good people out there in the Basehead world, it makes it a lot funner at the show.
It does. It does.
And you know,
I don't
look
think we.
forward to going to each show just because of the people.
Yeah.
It isn't really that I enjoy going to meet her. It's just this happens to be the kind of friends I like to have.
Yeah. I mean, where
So,
else?
you know, my car doesn't do that great on the meter. Oh well, I'm there for my friends.
Oh, what did you finish in Monster? You were in top 5, weren't you, Melissa?
I was for
Yeah. So you talking about you're not doing good on the meter. You.
well, that ain't doing good on the meter, man. 4th is not
You know,
acceptable.
Well,
I will give you fair warning, though. I'm getting ready to drop back down to Monster, so.
Yeah. And
Good
again,
Lord.
where
Why
else
does
do you
everybody
go?
keep
Big
threatening me
hobby.
like I'm somebody?
Everybody's somebody until they're nobody. That's my thoughts.
The thing about Base Wars or any sound competition org that's out there, where else do you go where you're going to drive 150 miles or 100 miles or 200 miles? So you're in a car for whether it's half an hour or 3 hours to get to somewhere. You wait in line for another 20 minutes after you get there for 5 seconds and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
You're there literally for 3 or 4 seconds of a burp, maybe 30, if you actually take all the time to burp. And then you're done for the day. Well, you don't do that if you're not having fun or you're not there to see your friends sometimes, because I will leave at 6 a.m. to get to a show that doesn't start until 11, and I'll get there at 9:30. So I can help the promoter set up their tent, set up their TVs, which doesn't do anything for teamwork at all necessarily directly, but it shows that I'm there to help out. And if some new person is there, and I'll pick on Shannon since he's got his 2 comments in there really quick, that Shannon puts up something and he's got a question and the promoter doesn't have time, but they say, no, I'll take a look at it. And I go over and look at Shannon's build, or I look at, again, Melissa or Eric's build or something. That alone promotes the show. It promotes a little bit of teamwork, even though it's not necessarily teamwork, but it's that positive that you're sending out there. And that alone gets you there. And
give more than you get.
Miles.
Give out way more than you get.
Yeah. The give basket, yeah, I don't have any F's to give, but I got a lot of other things to give.
Right.
Yeah.
A few things still left in my back pocket.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're definitely the same thing. You can sit back after the tent is down and everything is packed up and you can BS at the end of the day. That's when we can sit back and be a little tired, as long as you're not too tired to drive home. Because I've had that happen to me as well.
Well, and I've always kind of been, I don't always make it there earliest and I don't always stay there the last, but always help out the guys who are running the show. They're one person. You're asking them to do a lot that whole day there. Give them 5 minutes of your time. Either help set up or help break down or see if you can help them pack something to the car. Help these guys out, man. If you're out there and you had a good time, get out there and help these guys who are running the show for you. That is something that I stress out there too. They had a long day and they were catering to our fun.
It's the same thing. We had Eric last year at Wheel Jam. I won't mention who it was, but didn't believe the meter, thought he was going to be louder. Eric brought his little mini SPL meter over, put it right next to mine, and we were within 1/10 of a dB of each other. And hey, it's close enough for me. And we changed, and I even changed meters around. I changed cables. I'm like, dude, it ain't me. It's your build. And I thought
it is what it is.
But again, Eric, hey, can you help? Can you push on this car door? Or Melissa, can you show him where to place the meter, please? Or something else. And again, not necessarily teamwork per se, but just showing that you're available to help out. That goes a lot toward getting recognized to possibly be on a team as well. I don't know anyone when I get to a show sometimes, and if I see 2 or 3 people helping out, I know that those are the people that I want to hang out with at the end of the day, hopefully,
Yes.
because they're going to help out with a lot of different things. And that really does show to the other competitors there as well that you're a stand-up guy or gal when you get there. You're not
Well,
one of the guys
that's
or
the
gals with
whole
the
thing.
big head.
You know, our base head community could be so much better,
Mhm.
but it takes each of us.
Yeah.
Not just one, it's taken all of us.
Yeah.
We could have a really, really good community of base
Mhm.
heads.
And that's
the
anywhere
public
you're at.
could quit looking at us like we're thugs.
No.
You know, I genuinely don't get that around our community here. You know, we don't ride around, we don't bang around, we don't make, you know, a lot of noise or trouble or anything else like that around our community and stuff. And that's another thing too, is if where you live hates you, you know, that's not a positive light either. Who wants to invest in that guy if he's just running around banging through his neighborhood and making everybody mad?
True.
Does not look good.
There's a
I'm not telling you not to have fun, but
there's a certain rapport that goes with not being the guy or gal that's Thursday night, Friday night, sitting in the Walmart parking lot or Target parking lot, booming their system. At the same time, if I can get 1 or 2 of those people over to my show on Saturday morning, hey, that kind of helps out. So, yeah, you don't necessarily need to cause the or be the cause of the public nuisance question that comes up at a city council meeting.
right.
And a few of my the secret haters that are out there.
Oh man, that
got a
is
few of
an
those people in
abundant
here.
little crowd. You
Mhm.
never know who they are, and then all of a
You
sudden you
don't.
go, "Oh, really?" Uh,
Definitely.
Yeah,
Sometimes
haters are awesome. Means you're doing something right if you got haters, man.
Well, the only reason for me hating you right now, Eric, is all of a sudden you're above 160. Well, technically you're above 160, and I helped you get there years ago, sorta. So I hate you right now.
Ooh.
I'll be there.
Well,
Might not be spring, but I'll be there.
what we started off together. I figured when I crossed that threshold, it should have been with you anyway. So not only that you could be there because you helped me get there, but so I could also rub it in your face too.
And thank you for that.
and now, see, that was spoken like a true competitor.
Exactly. There is
we are always back and
that
forth.
little twist of the knife or the needle in the back that always helps. So that is always a good thing. And it is
You know,
I love
we-
you. I'm still gonna beat you thing.
exactly.
It's still got a smile on your face when you say it. It's okay.
Yep, exactly. It's until I'm looking at you with beady little red eyes and stuff, or you're showing up to a show and all of a sudden you're getting attacked with a silly string or a marshmallow gun or something like that, you know, which might happen
Or
next year.
you suddenly hear the Smurf revving behind you and the headlights turn on.
That hasn't happened in a long time. Smurf hasn't ran. Let's see. Actually, the Smurf ran about 2 weeks ago. I had to move it from the shop over to storage. And that was about the last time that it ran in about 4 months. I think it's 3 months. It's been sitting in the shop on the ride. Before that, it didn't run all this year. It sat in storage. So there will be things that will be getting done.
This season is to make Dan bring his vehicle back to the lanes.
It will be in the lanes. It might not be till maybe around 7/12 boom, but it will be in the lanes. Right now, I just got to get my other car operational. Yes, we will have fun in the lanes. You pull up, get it done as a team and a family, like Shannon just said, because the Basehead family is smaller than it used to be, but it's definitely growing a lot.
Uh-oh, we have a challenge for you to bring it to 712. You got time. Get it ready.
Yeah, it's got
We
all winter.
expect it to be there.
I'll bring my Rockville build to it for sure.
I don't care what it's got in it, just get it there.
We don't
Yeah,
like
that's-
teammates competing against each other. You know, I knew a shop that did that once, John, where they didn't want to, they literally did not want to take my money because I wanted to compete in a certain power class. And this is now 30 some odd years ago. I wanted to compete in the Iasca 101 to 250 power class. And I had specific amps that I was going to use. And this was one of the better shops in town for sound quality. And they didn't want to install my stuff because, oh, well, you're in that class. Yeah, we've already got someone in that class. And they didn't want to take my money. I'm like, well, why not? And they just said, well, we've already got someone in that class. And I've never bought anything from them because of that. So for 30 years, I talked a little bit badly about this one particular shop, and it's not local to me anymore, but it's just left a bad taste in my mouth that they didn't want to take my money, even though I was going to compete against one of their guys. I went somewhere else, and I'm kind of glad I did because I wiped the floor with that guy 30 some odd years ago. But it was kind of nice to be able to do that. And yeah, it was good. It felt good to be able to spend my money somewhere else and not spend as much as well, and be able to wipe the floor with that guy. And yeah, Elvin, definitely a Rockville specialist there. He knows his stuff about that kind of product.
All right. Well, Pop Tart says he wants to give it one more shot. So
Certainly.
let's add
Hey.
Pop-Tart.
Hey, there we go. Now Pop Tart's got the better connection, it looks like, as well.
Yeah, my connection kind of sucked. I'm
you
trying
go.
everything.
Yep.
All right. Now that you're back
Well, we
on,
got you loud and clear.
you have the Toys for Tots show this weekend. $20
Yes.
entry or a gift.
Yeah, $20 value.
Unwrapped toy.
Yeah, $20 value a toy for each format.
Okay.
We try to fill up. We have actually every year we have a we call it the Hot Wheels challenge. We try to fill up a Toys for Tot box, nothing but Hot Wheels.
Nice.
You know, and
Oh,
and we have accomplished that every year. So we encourage everybody who comes to the show, go buy $50 worth of Hot Wheels. You know what I'm saying? Or we just try to fill up a Hot Wheel box.
that's
Nice.
so cool.
I would probably be able to fill up one of those with all of them I bought as a child. I had, oh God, I remember the little 4x4 packs that you could carry them around in your little suitcase of Hot Wheels.
Oh yeah, I remember the suitcases.
God, I must have had 10 or 12 of those things, and they were all full. Some of them were just every red car that I could find. They were all red, or they had other things with them, but that would be awesome to do.
See, we were allowed to actually have the Hot Wheels when we were growing up, but we couldn't have the tracks because me and my brother would beat the hell out of each other with them.
Yep.
I remember
They
that.
hurt. Those hurt almost as much as the wooden spoon to the back of the hand, or the ruler
Oh,
from
so bad.
some of us may have had as teachers.
So many scars.
So moving on with the Toys for Tots, do y'all do Toys for Tots?
Normally
love to.
I do a Toys for Tots show, but nobody contacted me this year.
Oh, that's
So
sad.
I don't have one this year.
Oh wow.
That's okay.
I don't
I'll
have
get
one yet
another
either,
show.
but I might be doing a polar bear plunge in February. So if we can do that and get that set up, I would be more than happy to in lieu of a Toys for Tots, do the polar bear plunge one.
And you and Dan, you in South Dakota, right?
Yep.
So it gets cold there. It gets cold there.
Yeah. Last year we had a week of high temperatures that were 15 or 20 below for the high temps. So yeah,
with wind chill or not,
and that's without the wind chill. Yeah, Eric knows because he's only about 75 miles away from me.
Yeah, I'm an hour south of him.
We'll get a 1.5 foot of ice generally by New Year's or Christmas time. We'll have a 1.5 foot of ice out there on the lakes, and go out there and drive your vehicle out there, pulling your ice shack and setting it out there on the ice. Go fishing all drink beer. Well, not so much fishing as drink beer all day and maybe get the hook wet.
Right. Now, let me ask y'all, do y'all have any pandas or marbellas have ran? I know you probably got one. I know of Dan that's been there, you know what I'm saying? But Melissa or Eric, y'all have any like pandas or marbellas or terras that come in your lanes?
I have ran the lane. I've been a judge in Tennessee, and they showed up there.
Yep.
And they showed up for me in Florida. But as far as irregular base specific vehicles, I've got very few that run for me. Most of what I run are daily drivers.
Yeah, there's a couple in the area, but that I would consider a considerable threat in the area. And he's about 100 and let's see. Dan and Kayla are about 120, maybe 140 miles from me.
You know, we're talking about these vehicle specifics. Well, shit, they're pulling out Hondas that can do this now. You know, there are Hondas that they're talking about pulling out. They're just as terrifying.
Well, I got some big hitters coming. We got a Panda coming Saturday supposedly to run no wall, leashed no wall. So that's going to be interesting to see if he can do a 60 or 61 in it. So
that will be great.
Say, Dan, what's that one that Stoley is running down there? I can't remember what his vehicle was.
That's
wasn't it
Panda? Well, it's a Fiat.
That's what I thought.
It's a Fiat delivery truck, is what it is. It's Horner's old vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, that says enough right there. Just say it's Horner's old vehicle, and that's all you need to know there.
and in several cases, it's not so much that it's Horner's old vehicle, because he had one that Hank was building up that he still runs, of course. And there's a few in the area that Jimmy and Sonia will see down there because Chad has it, and he'll show up to the right shows. There's a couple in the area though that I know of, so it's a possibility that there may be more coming.
Well, I heard that Dan, I'm on Team DTX. Dan is actually converting over to Base Wars and Midwest SPL this year. That's all he's going to compete in. So you're probably going to see more of the Tiger van. We call it the Taliban because it looks like something you see over. Yeah, so you're going to see more of that.
It's
we already see enough of Horner up here.
It was like the scene in Back to the Future with the I think they were the Iranian terrorists at the time, but Middle East terrorists. The terrorist van kind of thing that you always used to see, those old little Volkswagens and whatnot. And those things, surprisingly, they get pretty loud as well, but not quite the same.
Right. Other than that, what shows y'all got coming up? Melissa, ladies first.
I have 3 for December, I believe. I have the 2-day show in Texas for Mr. John Ray McDonald. And then I have Samuel Skinner's birthday. Oh, and I forgot. We have a show in Anniston on the 2nd, which is midway through the state. So that's a Sunday evening show for all my guys that say, I can't make it because I got to work. So we got y'all a Sunday evening show.
Call in sick. It's worth it.
So we've got quite a bit of shows coming up. But just so everybody knows, there are 3 judges right here, and we're all 3 booking at all times.
You
Call
got
if
it.
you want something.
Yeah, I just started actually booking my 24 season just the last couple of days, making events and everything and putting it on the Base Wars page and, Facebook events. So I'm going to keep it open for July and August though, because it gets hot in Tennessee. Ain't gonna lie. 100 degrees, 110 degrees. If I don't have to do a show in them months, I'm not going to try to do a show. But if somebody wants me to do a show, we'll do it. But yeah, my months are July and August are free.
Well, I try to book as early as possible and try to fill the whole year up. That way I know how much gas money and how much maintenance I need to be doing to my vehicle through the year. All you gotta do is help us out, get in early.
Yep.
Let us know. We need to know where we're going.
It helps
And get
you know
your-
where we're going. Get promotion time out there, because if we get, unfortunately, my last show that Eric was at, basically, I got to be able to post it on Monday, and we had the show on Saturday. It was a week. I had 5 people or 6 people show up, but ran I think 11 or 12 classes total, so it was worth it. Except for the
I was
snow.
going to say there was four classes off of me, and then it turned into a blizzard.
Yep. And to
Mr.
answer
Big
Big
J,
Jeff's question,
we
yeah.
do go to Florida. We don't currently have a judge. We are looking for one. But when we go to Florida, it's usually the John Kent shows.
Yep.
And it's usually Billy coming down there for y'all. But if you need to call me, I'll come to Florida for you.
I will come down there as well as
He's a
there's
Gale Force
some
sailor.
scuba diving to
He
do
gets
on
that little
either
bit of
Saturday or
extra.
Sunday as well.
Florida.
I come on Florida just to get the hell out of Iowa.
Hey, I've been to Iowa. I went to Iowa this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you were down at 712 this year, wasn't you?
Yes, I was.
That's right.
And it was a pretty good, I tell you what, that was a good show. I give credit
It's not
to
a bad
Jimmy and
show.
him.
That's our big annual show down here in the Sioux City, Iowa area, and the North Show. That's our big one.
Gotcha. Well, I know Greg Kelly, which I see him commenting. He's got a big show this weekend, the Ruckus and Chill show out in North Carolina. Now that's a pretty good demo show. You know what I'm saying? Lots of big time hitters go to that show. So everybody show some love for Greg Kelly over there in North Carolina at the Ruckus show, which I know he's going to have Walt and all them, and possibly Duncan and Chris Hill and all them be there.
Sure.
Oh, he's gonna have a blast seeing all those vehicles.
That would be a fantastic show to have, or a fantastic gathering to have anywhere.
Here's what most people don't understand. The judges get just excited because we know what vehicles are coming and we want to see them. We get excited when y'all do little things to them. We get to watch them through the year. It's fabulous. Ooh.
I get excited just seeing vehicles come into the gate to my show. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh wow, I get some competitors now.
Yep.
It's
I love
better than
seeing
Billy's first one.
The 212s in a trunk pull up for the first time, and my newbies on the meter. I will spend as much time as you need. Just pull up. Let me see it. Let's get it done. We'll get you through your first run. Man, those are my favorite.
I don't care if you built the system from Walmart parts or not. If it's new, hey, pop your trunk. Let's see what you got, man. I'm always scoping out the new.
Definitely.
Come on in, man. Let's see what you got. Love it.
A base head's a base head. There's no budget really. You know what I'm saying? Just if you got a $100 system or you got a $15,000 system or more, you know what I'm saying? It's all about the music and how you built it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Bring it out. If it makes you happy, that's all that matters there. That's all that matters. Are you happy?
Now I got tired of chasing numbers after winning title after title last year, and I figured, this year and from on, I'll just start hosting shows. So I got tired of chasing numbers. I'm more of a let me listen to you. Let me hear your lows. What does it do at 20 hertz?
Oh, I'm better on one side of the meter than I am the other.
Yep.
Y'all need me on the side with the computer. My car just sits out there and looks pretty.
So, Sonia, we're trying to get Melissa to come on up to 712.
I am definitely going to make that show.
Start sending her messages about 712 and flight prices or bus prices, and we'll figure out a way to get
her. She wants to drive
Subtle
out there.
hints.
Hey, you can catch a flight with me, Melissa, because we fly out there.
There you go.
You fly everywhere you go.
I always fly and carry my radio just in case if I have to borrow somebody's car to use. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like driving. Anything over 5 hours, I hate it. I rather just fly and get there in 2 hours.
Oh no, I'm the exact opposite. I would rather be in my own vehicle for 7 hours driving and not having to deal with people.
Oh, you welcome to my job every day.
When you get me near people like at an airport, and I lose my mind.
But it's like a real challenge though. When I go to these places and fly in, and I borrow somebody's car like I did at 712. Never even heard the car, never even played with the car, and I ran in DB drag, did top dog and base race, and won it all. You know what I'm saying? And then ran over in base wars lane and did a pretty good number. But it's fun when you don't know nothing about the car. It's like a new experience.
They're out here telling Greg Kelly he too old to be playing with Power Wheels. No, he too loud to be playing with Power Wheels.
There's no such thing as too old to play with Power Wheels.
Man, I love
the bad thing is them Power Wheels of his daughter's as loud as his vehicle.
Right. Some of these kids are getting as loud as their parents. You gotta watch out. We got was it Heather Romer? They built that Power Wheels. That's our DB car up here. And that Power Wheels, they went nuts with, and that thing is just about as much as Herville does.
Yep.
Easily.
Well, Seth's got one as well. A couple other people. I would like to see more Power Wheels builds at the shows, and that might happen as well.
Well, this new, we absolutely love y'all too.
Well, this new generation, this new generation of kids now, you know what I'm saying? They're not like us old school people, you know what I'm saying? They're not into the car audio full force like we were, you know what I'm saying?
True.
There's so much, it's just so much, what I want to say is there's so much distraction from social media, these video games. The kids don't want to take the time out to do a system. My boy, I built his system for his car to compete with, and actually have something to listen to, because I drive his car most of the time too. But he don't have really no interest. And it's like, dude, I wish I had a dad at your age that was in the system, because it's just the kids nowadays. Their attention and their what I want to say is their let me think here. I'm kind of tongue tied. It's getting late. But their interest is not as like ours. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I was fortunate.
Well,
my dad didn't teach me a lot of it, but he knew the people that could. So he sent me to a local mechanic one day and said, "Hey, he's got to change out this and this and this." And I've already got it. He kept a couple things from me about what he was going to do, and had a family member who was a old, and by old, I mean Ralph was probably 90, maybe 92 when he taught me how to build a box. said it's the hardest thing you can do because you got to have so many right angles in just a very basic rectangular box. And once I learned a couple things about that and knew the basics with math as well, with Pythagorean theorem and figuring out angles, it became
All that mess
so
they
much
said
easier.
in high school you didn't think you would use.
Exactly. All that stuff in high school that I didn't use, like shop class. I don't even know if high schools have a shop class anymore because most don't. But
No.
they got other things.
That's a damn shame in itself.
Well, that's a whole nother subject as well. And I probably
Right.
shouldn't have even brought it up. But knowing who to get that information from as well, yeah, there's a lot of things that'll change in the next, probably in the next 10 or 15 years as well. We may not see any kind of shop style classes ever again. Or you might have to go into a technical trade like plumbing or electrical or welding or computers or some of the medical professions as far as dental and medical, just to learn the basic traits of troubleshooting things, which after 20 or 30 years that we've all got, we kind of take for granted. So again,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
But with these new vehicles out now and in the future, I don't see car audio going to last unless you, like you said, you go to a technical school to learn nothing but electronics on these cars.
Yep.
Like the Teslas, you know what I'm saying? The future
Exactly.
car, you know what I'm saying? You don't really see systems in Teslas.
Not yet.
Well, and
Some of these
if you look at
cars,
it from like a,
it costs
if you look at
$1,000
some of
to
it,
be able to change the wiring for the radio.
Exactly.
there you go. That's what I was going to get at. You beat me to that one, Melissa, easily.
Ooh.
The way that they're overcomplicating these systems now, integrating in aftermarket units, you know, a lot of these manufacturers for these vehicles are already coming out with, you know, upgraded and aftermarket units. You know, for guys and folks like us, that just doesn't do it. You know, for the general crowd, that does. But that's where I think we're kind of seeing that aftermarket stereo kind of taking a bit of a hit there, is because the manufacturers are offering something to the average Joe that sounds great for them. And hey, bonus, if that works for you, great. But, you know, folks like us, you know, we're going to rip everything apart, rewire it, and do it the way we want to. So, you know, you have to wonder how much time is left on that.
Even when we're talking some older vehicles, is like, I was just going to kind of mention the Ford Sync here, or the older monsoon systems that they had. Even the Chrysler Infinity systems from the 90s. They're a pain in the butt to work with sometimes. You know, Phil and I were talking tonight. He's got a car coming in next weekend. Granted, it is a more unique car. It's a Mercedes, and it's a 2003. But I was looking at Android head units and some other things that are out there that are available for them. And all I keep reading about it is it's a fiber output, and you got to have the amp bypass.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it. I'm like,
That's where companies like Trauma are going to excel.
Yep.
With the Bluetooth amps, just power it around.
Yep.
Those amps are going to excel in these new cars.
And that's kind of where I was going with it, is if you're not keeping track of the new technology, like the Bluetooth amps and some of the other things that are available out there, we're never going to be able to put something into without doing a lot of custom work. And that's already happening with, you know, there used to be 20 or 30 dash kits and the same amount of wire harnesses for 85 or 90% of the vehicles out there. And now I can't even get a dash kit for and I'll pick on something that we worked on last weekend. Phil and I were working on a 24 GMC Sierra. I got to know which radio is in it before I even order the dash kit. And I got to know if it's a little touchpad, if it's the big touchpad, if it's just the AM, FM. with the auxiliary on the bottom. I got to know 5 different things about it before I even attempt to order up the dash kit. And then there's, again, 5 or 6 wire harnesses for that one vehicle. They've gotten a lot more complicated. So it's
you almost need an engineering degree these days.
Yeah.
And that's why I'll stick with building boxes and building my metal ports and selling them because it's easy. You can't go wrong there.
Exactly. That's where I make my money too, is in boxes and enclosures.
Yep. And some of it, yeah, as Stacy and Greg just put up there, it can be a big money to do it too. $400 or $500 for a deck that's going to fit in that particular dash area, plus $300 or $400 for a pack or a metric converter with steering wheel controls and the backup camera control. It's no longer a $50 install with a dash kit and a harness and $50 to install your radio like it was in the early 90s. Now it's, I'll quote you something.
If they say Maestro kit, just bend over.
Yeah. You might as well. You know,
yeah, that's why a lot of people can't afford it.
Don't be surprised if it's $1,000 or more.
Yeah.
And then you got $1,000 car note on top of that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but then again,
there's no win for losing that.
In a new car, because I'm gonna buy something that I can go and tear up and be okay with it. I don't want to do base.
Yeah, exactly. We did try the price of the PRS 80, especially when that jumped to double the price in the last year.
I got 3 of them.
Yeah.
Still not worth more than $200 in my mind.
Oh yeah, I got 3. I got 3 of them.
The SPL world, anyway.
That was like one of the best radios.
$89.99. That's all I spent for my Pioneer, and that thing has lasted me for 4.5 years now. So, you know, I'm not going to say a word in this conversation.
Yeah, I will
complain about mine. It's still working.
I will love my Pioneer for $160 and say that it is one step down from the 80 PRS because I don't need all the SQ stuff. I'm in the SPL world.
SQ is dead.
SQ is, you know, it's there, but it's so small of a segment because everything is subjective for the most part.
It is.
It's hard to say that my install is better if it looks like trash, and it might look like trash, but it sounds good. Well, yours sounds good, but his install looks better. Well, which one's better then? Hard to say because it is subjective.
Well,
but anyway.
And let's be honest, when the crowd gets drawn, it's not for the sound quality. It's for who's breaking the windshield and who's got the SPL and playing the lows these days.
Who's got the stunt walls?
Yep.
Yep. You're
not seeing really a
fair tricks.
See, you used to have guys all about that SQ and everything else like that, and you know, I loved it because some of the stuff that those guys had to do to actually make those scores happen and stuff back in the day, it was amazing, the builds that you would see, and you know, the sound quality was just it would cut your eardrums. It was so sharp. But it seems like everybody just kind of, for lack of a better phrase, they put their face in a pile of cocaine and came up SPL. You know, everybody started eating it. You know, looked like Scarface. Yeah, more SPL. So, you know, and you know how it is. What the people like is what's going to happen. So, unfortunately, it fell by the wayside. But if you look at some of the old sound quality builds from back in the day, they were an amazing build. You just don't see them like that anymore.
A lot of them were. There were a few that definitely stood out. And those are going to be the bigger names that were out there. And at the same time, if you didn't necessarily attend finals, it was hard to find out who those people were sometimes. But the big ones that stood out, you know, the Speakerworks, Richard Clark Grand National,
Mark Eldridge.
Eldridge,
yeah.
Yeah, Mark Eldridge.
Gary Biggs. You know, Todd Masurba, Harry Kimura. There's several forums out there on Facebook that specifically cater just to that. So if you're not already on the Base Wars Facebook page and following us, find some of the SQ vehicles that were out there back in the day, or the old school forums that are out there, or groups rather, that are out there on Facebook, and take a look at some of them. Read through.
We've got a Base Wars judge that does SQ. He does Emma. So look up Richard. I think his last name is Poppison.
Yeah, he's from
he's out
California,
on the West Coast, isn't he? Yeah, he's out in California there.
Yeah, California.
He runs a lot of sound quality vehicles, and those are some beautiful installs.
I know he was doing Mecca SQ, and last year he drove all the way down here to World Finals just to get told that he got DQ'd because the speaker pods wouldn't let the door shut. So yeah, he would just say he was kind of irate, drove all the way over here just to say his speaker pods wouldn't let the door shut. So they just DQ'd him in the lanes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a rough card dealt right there. That's a rough card.
And I was actually wanting to hear his van, man. It looked good, and I was actually right there wanting to hear it, but he never played it because he left.
No,
damn.
He came all that way for that reason.
Well, now he's with Base Wars, so that tells you right there.
Yep.
That would tell me a lot about it as well.
Just so everybody knows, we are honored to have him as our California judge.
Oh, yeah.
He is a damn good judge.
I'm looking ahead right now. And speaking of Richard, because of that, he actually has a Toys for Tots show coming up here on the 2nd of next month. He then has 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 4 shows scheduled before the end of February. So actually 5 shows scheduled before the end of February already for next year. So if you're out in the California area, go see Richard at a Base Wars show. He'll be available.
Well, they don't get no winter. They don't get no snow or ice.
Yeah, right.
Down here either.
Might have some
And I'm
at one of the
about
shows.
an hour and a half south of you, Pop-Tart. And we don't get winter down here.
We get ice. We get a lot of ice in Tennessee. So a lot of our shows that we try to have in December, January, it's hard to do because it's either too cold or we get the ice.
Too cold.
It gets cold here and raining, but we don't get the ice like y'all do.
We just, Eric, didn't we just have snow on Saturday like 2 weeks ago at our show?
See, that would be cool.
Now, we had snow, but as we're getting ready to leave and I'm coming home, we had like 4 inches of slush all the way down the highways. It's a 70-mile-an-hour highway, and I'm doing 40, and everybody was stupid enough to be following behind me because they thought I knew what I was doing. It can change any minute or any moment of the day up here in Midwest. That situation can change real quick. You're building the snow piles.
It did for me as I was going.
Sir. Good to see you in here. We've discussed your show already. Got all the big names going to that show.
Oh God, yeah. If Clippo's going, there's another great name. Let's get Kyle out there. You will not do another KC snow show, huh, David? That's a shame. There's 4 seasons in it. You got that right, Sonia. Winter, almost winter, just past winter, and construction. If you drive through Omaha, that is. I'm sorry, I trash Omaha for that a lot, but my brother lives there, and every time I go and see him, or every time I try and get down to a Jimmy and Sonia show, I get screwed over in Omaha. My car either breaks down or I get into an accident because someone doesn't understand what to do in construction.
You know what the problem there is, Dan? You're trying to go too far south and skip Sioux City. You're supposed to stop at Sioux City. It's just that.
I almost have to. I might have to make a point of that this year. So the last time I tried to make a Jimmy and Sonia show, I lost the transmission in the Smurf car, so it'll be a while before it gets back down there again. But it is running. It does work. And allegedly, I've been told I have to bring it to the 712 boom. So
There you go. Absolutely, you do, because that means I'll get to see it.
it's ugly. I might bring some rattle cans and rattle off. I might do a raffle for rattle cans.
I don't care if the base rig is
Oh, it's-
ugly. I understand how
It's
much
not
work
that
we
bad.
put into our systems.
It's better than some of the other, according to Billy, who's seen a few more of them. It's better than a couple of the other people that used to run them down south. So it's, I guess it's not as bad as I make it out to be, but
Okay, it's just not in its prime anymore. That's what we'll call it. It's not in its prime
neither am I.
anymore.
Neither am I. So,
Exactly. The car matches the owner there. It's a little banged up. It's a little beat up. The tire looks like it's about half flat. You know.
The Maypop brands on them
Still
tires,
works
huh?
just fine.
my spare tire works just fine. Thank you.
What's the spare tire? That's where my batteries are at.
That's why I was just about ready to ask you, what's a spare tire?
That's
It's kind of like asking, where's your rearview mirror?
A what?
Spare.
I don't own either one of those.
Yeah, me neither. Spare tire is roadside service.
Mirror. I got side mirrors. I got those. I have no idea what the hell a rear view mirror is.
Got one
That's
left.
the first thing I throw in the trash when I buy a car.
Even
Well, I guess I guess
2 years ago, where it was the smallest class, I still didn't know what a rear view mirror was. I never used it.
well, I guess everybody's in a wall class then, because you're supposed to look out the rearview mirror out the back window to be a no wall.
I was.
Yeah, that's not working for me.
That's
Now,
like every Yukon and Denali that I see, every Escalade, every Yukon, Suburban. Donnie, you're not the first one, but I'm pretty sure that the Red Rocket was probably the first one to make that happen and make it kind of a normal thing to see on a Saturday. You add the front hitch to it as well, maybe a little more.
If he does carry his spare tire on the roof, it would keep his roof from flexing as bad.
Yep.
So that might not be a bad idea.
It's not
You
against
see that a bit
rules
up this way
in-
too. If you guys do that,
It is not against the rules in any org that I know of to put a roof rack on and put your spare tire and your cooler and your spare gas can up there.
Mm-hmm. Bring what you
And-
need.
As long as it's bolted on
or
properly or fastened
about
on,
6 of your buddies, and
or 6 of your buddies hanging off of it trying to keep your doors closed, then it works.
right. That's about what it takes to hold Donnie together. There's about 6 of us there. I don't know if we're actually doing any good, but we're trying.
Definitely trying for sure. Get more people and
If you actually watch that,
we'll get some people on there and
if you watch that Denali as he's going, you'll actually watch
we'll have fun with Donnie.
his tires actually vibrate on their rims when he's going.
Oh, what's
What you
up
want to
with
know
the
about him, sir?
Unleashed music classes? Well, this gives me an opportunity now, since I have said recently we don't have a rule book up. I literally just looked about 25 minutes ago on the basewars.org page, and guess what we now have? We now
Exactly.
actually have a link to the guidebook / rule book for 2024 that is on the main basewars.org page. It says Base Wars Guide right on the top. It is a PDF that, among other things, gives you, like the rest of them have, a little bit about how we started out for one page, and then it gets right into the rules and membership and how much and when and where, and then finally gets into the classes. We got classes for pretty much everything. And specifically, Donnie, what you're looking for, we can do 3-minute music. We can do the hot seat. We can do mayhem, crowd loud with 1 foot out or 6 foot out. You can do all your music classes with hurricane, typhoon,
It
cyclone.
just falls under a wall class, doesn't it?
Yep. Donnie would definitely be in a wall. We even have a 3-minute
Right.
death match. If you want to run that for 3 minutes, if you can handle it with your power.
All right. We
Or
have
more
3 judges
skills.
in here, and 1 has said something. What class can I run with Deadner on the outside?
Whatever.
Really, any class. There ain't a rule for it yet.
Exactly. There ain't
There's no rule
rule.
for it. Yeah.
We technically
Basically, bring it if you got it.
That's just like say my vehicles, for instance. I know I ain't the only one, but I got both of my vehicles bedlined on the outside. The whole car
Mhm.
is bedlined. So I
Sure.
mean that's an
Yep.
installation. But now if I go to say a certain organization, they're gonna throw me in extreme because
Of course.
That- so I don't what I'm saying it's not really making a lot of difference. I mean, it don't dampen the sound totally, but it does help a little bit with the flex.
Sure. No,
I'm just trying to cover up all the rust.
Exactly. The rust, the hell dents.
Yeah.
Yep.
They might keep it in the vehicle.
Yes, with some organizations, it's an absolute no-no.
Yep.
With Base Wars, we are more lenient and understand that you need to protect your vehicle. And we give you the right to use your skills. Bring what you want. We got a class for it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's what drug me over to Base Wars. I used to compete in a couple of other organizations, but the last, I'd say, 3 years now, Dan, I've been exclusive to Base Wars just because you can
Pretty
walk
much.
in there, you run what you got.
Yep.
I can run as many classes as I want. Running as many classes as I want is a big thing too, because some of the organizations will limit what you can run.
Yeah.
If you ask Dan, I run all the music classes. I don't care what I score. I'm just there to have fun. So I'll run all those music classes, and there's no restriction on that.
Exactly.
Man, come down to Tennessee to my show then.
What's the loudest music
Dan-
so far?
Dan and Jimmy make their money off of me every show. I'll tell you that.
Oh, didn't we know better, Mr. 63, 64-ish? Yeah, you don't get loud like that with no skills, sir.
Yeah. The loudest music score, right above that question there from Donnie Oliver. What's the loudest music score? I would guess it's in the mid 70s somewhere, maybe high 70s for sure.
I think it's maybe Chris Hill.
I was going to say, is it Chris maybe?
Yeah, because he was doing like 73s on music.
I was going to say, isn't he like mid
I
70s
think you're
right
right.
now? 73, 74?
Yeah, on music.
So, no, not Chris.
Let's just
Lee.
leave it at he's making
Chris
us all
Lee,
look
Chris
bad.
Lee.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Chris Lee, that's what it is. Chris Lee. I don't know why I said Chris Hill for.
Oh, we all love Chris Lee. Man,
He is
that
loud.
thing, you can just stand beside it and you can feel the pressure going through you. It's a wee bit much.
Let me take a quick peek here while we're talking about that. We have 164 in chaos right now. We got a 164.10. That is, GOAT. Well, GOAT can be tone or music, actually, now that I'm thinking about it here. We got a couple 170s in GOAT. Otherwise, it looks like a 164 so far this year is going to be, Joe Joe Ock, Joe OC, 164.39. Just kind of going down through our top 10 lists here of everything. Another couple 160s, a 167 in Unleashed No Wall, but that can also be tone. Unleashed No Wall, yeah, 162. 164 is going to be the highest that we've gotten so far this year, and I don't have the other older scores in front of me to answer that question, unfortunately, David. I generally try and keep a copy of them, but yeah, Greg Corbin right now at a 164, or not Greg, but whatever the name was I said there, Greg, Chris Hawk at a 164.39. So
and just so everybody knows, y'all can go check these scores anytime y'all want. They're on the Base Wars website. Just go
along
look.
with, like, on below Melissa's name, if you take a look, it says Dixieland Judge, and below mine, it actually has my member number on there, because I gotta get on our soapbox here about member numbers again for team memberships, nationwide or local, and regular. Let's hold my beer for the loudest score. Well, considering that I've blown into the mic at a 163 before. It's not bad. But
I am his judge. He would have to hand that beer to me. Oh my God.
Get your membership numbers. Go to the basewars.org page. Get your membership out of the store that is on there. It is right on the very top. It says store. It's the second link.
Also, when they get their memberships, get your team to join up. You can do local or national for the team, and you need to put that on your membership too. Please.
It's an easy number to remember. We don't have a stunt wall class, John. You should know that yet.
Actually, you can do demo wars. With
Yeah,
I was gonna say I just go into demo wars.
Yeah, CEO class.
Yep.
Yeah. Just go on out there and play with them.
Donnie, I don't think I blew 163 then. I think that might have been at Wheel Jam this past year.
And if you're wanting to know how come we don't have a stunt wall class, it's because we can't get our hands on the wideband meters for the term labs. We would love to do.
Billy
I thought they had an RTA for Term Lab.
We do have RTAs, but there is a special wideband meter that goes with the Term Lab. And it's been I've been a judge.
Yep.
I was seeing that with SPL Labs did that too. They've got that wideband pressure meter too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're nice to have.
I would love to have one.
I would be very fortunate to have one if I did.
I can let you play with one. I mean, I've got one in the closet. It's just a meter and a little bit of software update, but yeah, I do keep the wideband.
Oh, don't mention software updates. I've had it through Term Lab ever since finals.
That thing hated me for a minute.
Oh man, it still hates me, and I updated it today. I didn't update today. I rolled back today so I could get access to my old archives.
It was hating my Hurricane run like that whole time. It hated it.
Any Jeep shows?
I haven't had anyone contact me about a Jeep show yet, but usually they're the ones who contact me within a month of the show. But I do a lot of specific Jeep only shows, which I thought in the beginning wasn't going to be fun. Oh, they're going to come out. They're not going to be loud. I forgot. You know, there are regular, SUV Jeeps. They're not all Wranglers.
Nope.
And I've had Wranglers pull out and just loud as can be.
Eric,
Those
were you
shows
at my
were
first
so
show
fun.
2 years ago at Carl's?
I don't think I was.
That was that windy Saturday where my tent ripped.
No, I don't think I was at that one, because first show that we had you at was out at that Cherokee Fairgrounds there when you first
That's
came
right.
on.
That's right. So what's going on? What will be new with the trunk class? Nothing, Demetrius.
Nothing. Trunk class
Absolutely
stays
nothing
the
new with
same.
trunk classes. In fact,
The only thing new is what you made new.
yeah, the
That's right.
only thing that's new with the trunk classes this year is really we've broken up the music. Hurricane, Cyclone, Twister, and Typhoon, we've broken those down into trunk, wall, and no wall. So
Trunk
jump
cars
on
give
into
you
the three that
places
we
to
offer
play.
there for the trunk.
See? Everybody reminds me, they got a loud Jeep.
Yep. Oh, 151 for soft top would be very loud.
Yeah, that's a loud score for a soft top, in my opinion, too.
Yeah,
Oh
we've
man, I had some just
tried getting
blow
people
my
about
mind.
154 in them and not had good luck. 46s, 7s, even 215s and 5K. It's hard to get Wranglers loud in a soft top. Even with a hard top, it's hard to get them loud.
Yeah, even with the hard top, it is. I've watched a few guys up here struggle.
I had a soft top do a 50 in the lane, and I was so proud of him because he worked so hard for that. And a 50 and a soft top, that's getting it.
Mm-hmm.
He did his homework.
Yeah, because you're bleeding out a lot with that soft top, so you know it's got to be way louder than that if you actually enclosed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a guy out here in Tennessee named Henry Hall. He had a Jeep with 415 DDs in it, and I don't know what he was breaking right at 160s on a soft top, but the box basically, the soft top was basically hard because the box was right up on the soft top.
Sure.
So yeah,
basically, it's about the only way you could build it that way to get it that loud.
Yeah,
you have to be as close to it as possible.
But like they ask, if y'all want a vehicle specific show, call your judge.
Oh yeah,
we'll come out and do Jeep shows. We don't mind.
I'll do Ford only shows. I'll watch you guys push your cars into the lane.
You do whatever
yeah, right.
want. You just got to
Just
call
like my
and
little
ask.
Festiva. If you want to do Power Wheels only show, I would be more than happy to do that as well.
My last show I had a couple weeks ago, we had a tow truck out there ready to pick up cars, and we actually had one car, the starter went out.
I had somebody ask about the Texas show and wanted to know if he could run the lanes in his 18-wheeler. And I was like, absolutely you can. I would love to see that.
Sure.
God, please.
Jimmy and Sonia
We've had a few of those up here.
We got a couple that'll do it. Jimmy and Sonia had one a couple of years ago at 712. One of our regular competitors. He was actually working. He stopped by. He had his truck with him with oh geez, I'm trying to think what exactly Brian had in it, but he did like a 126 or 127 or something, and that's all he needed. It's the rig that he drives for work, and he wants to have base while he's driving it for work all day long, and it worked perfectly fine. We were more than happy to do it. I think the same show, they actually had a boat come through the lane as well, so
they did. They did. That was.
I'll do
estimator stuff like that.
If you want to bring your John Deere combine through the lane, I will make a category for you. I will find out a way to do it. Yep.
Well, we got one of our guys on our local team up here. He's already getting ready to build his tractor trailer up too. And I think we've had like a couple years in a row down at 712 where we've had tractor trailers pull in, and then like Dan said, the one guy came in with his boat still on the trailer and just pulled it through the lanes, and we metered it up. I mean, it was an open air meter, but the guy still did pretty good. I can't remember what the score was, but yeah, we get kind of all sorts up here too.
It's like Boone said, that meter gonna hurt your feelings. Well, we ain't biased.
Oh,
Get through the lanes. Let us see.
Mhm. Yeah, I've seen work vans. About the only thing I haven't seen come through would be like I haven't, other than the kicker, when Travis and Jen had the kicker cube, when they had that come through, I haven't seen another UPS FedEx style truck come through. I haven't seen like a fire engine or a ambulance, anything like that. But I know
that's clear back in 2018, wasn't it? I think that was 2018.
I had a golf cart. Come through.
Golf cart through.
So
They put them in the high voltage category, man.
yeah.
6 volts on up, man. There you go.
Seriously, there's a class for everything. No matter what you pull through the lanes, we got a class for it.
We'll find it. If we don't have one, technically we've got 47 classes that we put in there. Term Lab holds 48, so we have room for, or I have room for, one extra category. And if it's going to be the Pop-Tart only vehicle, then it's there. If it's going to be the Melissa only vehicle, it's in there.
There you go.
If it's going to be the
why didn't you tell me that in the start? Yeah, why didn't you tell me this from the start, man? I would have been winning trophies in my own category a long time ago instead of actually running the other ones.
Why do you think I'm 13-1?
Oh, that's what it is. So while I'm not behind you in the judges booth, you're actually doing a little typing behind the scene there. Is that what I'm missing?
No, those are all legit scores. Ask Sonia.
Well,
I trust Sonia and or Jimmy putting the sensor wherever they feel is necessary, and they've watched me just simply put it in the glove box in there and still come away with it. So,
or still chuck one of us in the driver's seat while you're in the passenger seat with the laptop too. That's a realistic possibility if it's blizzarding out.
That works. That works as well, possibly. And
now, do you
boxes?
Melissa, Dan, do y'all actually offer like a fun runs for like, I've been doing a couple of fun runs at my shows for like $10 a run, just to people just want to meter their car.
Yep. No, I can do that if someone's there just because they're driving by and they see it. Yeah, I would do that.
If you're going to put on a graphic, again, you pay full price. You run your car, just get it done.
Well, I look at like if they just want to see what their car does, they're not there for a trophy. You know what I'm saying? Like a clinic.
If it's a one-time thing, if they got $20, I'll take $20. If it's going to be that I see them again, I might remind them that they paid $20 last time, and then it ain't $20 this time. It's going to be 30 plus 20 for each additional. But if it's someone that's just driving by because they've got they're driving their 68 Corvette out because it's a nice sunny Saturday and they happen to drive by. Well, one, I know that guy's got money because he's got a 68 Vet, but I'm not going to charge him full price.
Right.
Make him a deal at $29.95.
If you're running lanes, I still have to pay.
True.
Okay. Everybody deserves the same thing.
That's true.
Well, you look at something like what happens. I always have my SPL lab, like the full setup in my backpack, and I'll have guys pull up to the show. And some guys know that I do carry that with me at every show. They want me to meter them up, and they want me to meter up for free. And the first thing I look at them and say is, "You're here for a competition. Go run the lanes and find out." Once you go through the lanes, if we need to find something, then I'll bust that meter out and help you find some more. But go through those lanes first. That's what you're here for. That's what they're here for. Run the lane.
And I actually, on my shows, I've been actually charging for people who just want to come and demo, because the demoers will just piggyback off your shows just to pull up and just play their music. You know, so
We're always
I've
the
been
ones that
actually.
leave the place dirty. And my
So
lane runners never leave my spots dirty. They always help clean up. The demo guys will come and trash the damn place. I
That's why.
gotta go behind them every time.
Well, that's why they get us. They have to come to the registration booth and have their piece of paper in their windshield or on them. It says demo only paid. That's how I know they pay. They can demo, and just like the competitors have to pay to compete.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
That is fair. I'll give you that one. That is fair.
Mhm.
Because it's hard to find a place to go play a 60 plus build. Hell, it's even hard to
Right.
find someone to go play, a 50 and up without getting in
Walmart.
trouble nowadays.
And-
Come play all day long.
Drive-through.
Yeah, they come, they're gonna pull away attention from your lanes because people go over check out the demo. So why not make a little extra off of them too?
I do it in the Walmart or the McDonald's parking lot where Eric lives because they charge a lot more than the other McDonald's in the area. And I rail against McDonald's on Facebook all the time about their slow service. They can put up with me playing my 150 for a couple hours sometimes.
Oh,
Right.
I would love to see a Mini Cooper up in the lane. Those things get loud.
Hey, look at Peggy. Peggy's on here.
There you go.
She's in
Mini
my
Coopers
region.
get loud.
Yeah, she's in my region.
Never underestimate a good hatchback.
Well, she's got 415s in that car, and it's amazing, crazy looking.
Minis can get pretty darn loud too.
Okay, well, Miss Peggy, I'm looking you up immediately after the show. I want to see this.
Ditto that.
It's crazy looking.
I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious there too. That now you got me interested here. This isn't a Mini Cooper.
It's a Mini Cooper, all right. It's compact. I don't see how they got in there and put the subs in.
I'm running 2 solid 18s in a Wild Focus, and that's tight.
Yeah.
Like
It's
real
crazy. Because they got like one sub inverted, one sub regular, one sub inverted, one sub regular. It's like 2 on top, 2 on the bottom.
Okay. So they had to do some shifting on the subs to get them in.
Yes, but they're in there, and it's crazy. It's in a 4th order band pass.
I was gonna say, has it got all the big shag behind it with the VFL 12K? Because I'm seeing the shag in the 12K.
Yes, it's got the 12K in there.
Okay. Oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
it's
Now I'm seeing
purple.
pictures of the car. All right.
Yeah, it's purple.
Oh, man, I'm going to love this even more.
Oh, hell yeah.
She's in my region. If they would ever come, they came to a couple of the Kentucky shows. So
Nice.
if I could ever get them come down here to Tennessee shows, you know, what I'm saying, which they're only like probably about an hour away, or maybe an hour and a half, but they good people. Peggy and Johnny. Actually, Johnny just bought a Godfather 15 off me because he blew one of his 15s at FCBC World Finals last weekend.
That's a
Ooh,
nice looking build.
that
for
happens,
everything
though.
there.
Ooh. Oh, wow. That is a nice car. I can't wait to hear it.
It probably will come to Slamology too. We just lost Dan.
Yeah.
That's okay. He knows how to get back.
He saw that build and he tapped out already.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I don't blame him.
I mean, it does.
I'm gonna have to look it up when I get done here.
That build, it'd do like 53, 54s.
That's a legit build.
Honestly, I wouldn't even care. You got 415s in a Mini Cooper. I just want to see it. I don't even care what it does.
It's interesting.
like I said, I got these 2 custom Neo 18s in my little Ford Focus and a wall, and man, that is tight in itself. That is, whew. I had
Now,
to scale
Eric,
back my 21s.
now, what kind of 18s you have?
What we ended up doing is I ended up picking up a couple of the 521 Neos, which were the 21-inch Neo drivers that DB made some years back here. I came across a couple of those guys there, and we were trying to, at the beginning of the year, we started off with a single 21 in the 6th order. I was doing about a 56.5 at about 6K. And, you know, we started getting closer to finals. I'm going, well, I'm going to have to step up my game. Otherwise, I'm not going to make a placement. So we took the 521 out of the 6th order, went straight down to bare sheet metal, took those subs over. And I got a great guy here in the Sioux City area, in the Iowa area, Tajan Call.
Oh, Tajan's on our team. Okay.
Yeah, you know Tajan. He's on team. He's with Team DTX there. You guys, that guy.
I ran his car at 612 boom.
Yeah, that's
712.
712 there.
Yeah, 712 boom. I ran his car. I went and actually picked it up.
Tajan is a miracle worker for me. There's not a day I won't praise that guy for the work he's done for me. So I can't take even half the credit here, because he actually, what we ended up doing is rebasking him down to 18 to where I could fit both of them into that Focus and still have the actual area I needed. He has some prototype baskets, you know, with a 5-inch coil opening, because that's kind of hard to find with an 18. And he did a custom soft part build up all the way. So we basically Frankensteined these 2 21s down to 2 18s using the Neo motor and custom soft parts and everything else through there. I mean, he had to retool the basket and everything. The guy, I owe this year to that man. Let's put it that way. We got out there, and those things would drop off about 5K RMS on each one of them. There was more design so I could go into chaos and still compete and still actually place. You know, I came in 5th, so I can't say anything bad there. But those are kind of Frankenstein together based off of 521 Neos from DefBonds is what we used for the platform on that. And man, it came out amazing. I figured I was going to do about a 58, and I ended up dropping off, and I didn't even hit the top of my power. I dropped off a 60.1 at 8K on those things. And I mean, that poor little car, I'm going to have to get some steel out and go to work on that cabin, because it's a stock cabin minus some deadener of the roof. And I still pulled off a 60.1 out of that thing, and it about broke it.
Wow. Impressive. Yeah, Tajan's a good guy, man. I've been to his house. I've been to his little shop, man. He's a good guy, and he knows how to build subs.
That guy is stupid smart. Don't ever let him fool you. That guy is stupid smart. But he's also a guy who really works for our community around here too. He helps a lot of the guys. He's maybe like 3 miles from where I live right here. And that guy helps out our whole community, you know, rebuilding subs. You need some advice or something like that. Helps guys out with trying to get their lithium builds off the ground, you know, education and stuff like that. He is a really good figure here in our area, you know, and without him, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even brought home half of what I did this year because of his work. So huge props to Tajan Call all day.
Well, how's that band coming?
There we go.
Oof. Well, you'd have to ask him that, you know, the last time I was over there, which is probably about a month and a half or so ago, him and Jason were still sanding on it and stuff like that. I haven't been over there in a minute or two, so I don't know if he's got any more progress done. But yeah, that thing's going to be a monster. When he lets that thing off the leash and finally gets it going, I guarantee you it's going to be a monster.
Right. I seen the shell and stuff, man. It's crazy.
I ain't gonna dump out his build out in public here, because I don't know if he's even wanting any information out about it.
I think he wants to talk. I think he wants to keep it secret.
Yeah, he was kind of keeping it on the low through there, so I'm not going to really say what's what there, but I can tell you when he lets that thing finally off the leash, it's going to be nasty. There's no question there. And he never fails to deliver, you know, even in his own personal builds. That guy puts together his builds very nicely too. That guy will knock your hair right off the top of your head if you give him a chance.
Okay, well, we've been on here 2.5 hours already. So, does anybody got any questions for tonight?
Yeah,
Anything
Dan, why are you so saturated
we need
red?
to know about?
Because I have no filters. Just like my mouth, no filter. Well, okay, a few filters. Only because it's public.
Somebody hit the hot button on Dan. Now he's all flash red.
You've been in a tanning bed.
I was tanning.
But now, this weekend, Toys for Tots, Ashland City Fairgrounds. If you're on here, you're in the area of Southern Kentucky, Middle Tennessee, or you got the Ruckus Chill, North Carolina. So you got two good shows on the East Coast.
And then we got Jordan down south.
No, we got Biloxi as well. We got 3 good shows coming this
Biloxi.
weekend, a couple next weekend as well.
So we've still got shows coming up, even though it's winter time. So hurry up and get them rebuilt.
Just follow us on Facebook. That's how a lot of my shows are. I just post them on Facebook along with basewars.org on the event site. You know what I'm saying? So there's always ways to find shows.
Contact you to book shows is on Facebook.
I do the create event on Facebook of my shows also, and I put the event, the location, the event, what time it is, and all that good stuff, and then start inviting people.
Okay, well, how can people contact you to get shows moving?
They just look me up on Facebook, PM me, Pop Tart Wild.
Same way with you, Dan.
Same with me. Get a hold of me
That's
on
right.
Facebook. I'm on here all the time, and if people actually look at the Facebook Messenger page, chances are I'm probably answering 50 or 60% of the questions on there as well. So if you're asking me when is this show still on? Unless I see something physically on the page that says that it is not, the show is still on. And I'm
That's right.
probably putting my name after it as well, so people know that either blame me or thank me at the end of it.
Okay, well, y'all bring some toys out and go see Pop Tart, or go see Greg at Ruckus, or go see Jordan if you want to go to the beach. We got that this week. Other than that, everybody have a great night, and we're going to let y'all go and get some dinner.
And a great holiday too. If I don't talk to you, none of y'all. Thanksgiving's next week.
Have a good holiday, everybody. Stay safe out there.
Eric,
All right.
thank you for joining us. We appreciate you, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you, Eric.
All right. Let's